East Stroudsburg University softball with head coach Joe Fuduric. And coach, just want to go through your season to this point. You have about 10 days left as you go into the weekend, and then next week finishing up with 6 PSAC East games. So right now the Warriors 17-14 overall, tied for third in the PSAC East. Just overall, where do you see the team at this point of the season?
I think with this past weekend, the 4 wins that we picked up really turned a corner for us. We have been in a 5-game slide. We're a young squad, so we're going to have our moments of inconsistency. Luckily, we were able to turn the corner this weekend with Clarion and Millersville. And obviously against Millersville, we really hit the ball very well, so I was very happy with that. We could continue to do that. I'm sure we'll continue to make continue to win and make the conference tournament. So.
When you opened the conference schedule, you had the split against Millersville and split against Westchester.
Yeah.
You will end up seeing Westchester again. Obviously, that's a team that you're tied with at this point. But like you said, really the series against Millersville last weekend, to get those 2 games and get back in the mix was a big boost for your team.
Absolutely. It was a big confidence booster, as well as obviously for our record in the standings and everything. So we really, really needed it, and I'm very proud of them for that.
Just want to take a look at some of your top performers at this point. Obviously, Rebecca Smith was maybe your top player coming back from last year, and she's had an even better season this year.
She really has. She's really stepped up, taking a leadership role as being a catcher on the team. Really, I look to the catcher to really run the show out there.
Mm-hmm.
And she's done everything in 2 years besides catch for us. She's really wanted to get back there and lead the team. She's a natural-born leader. But there's little things she has to do here and there, and she's improved throughout the year, and she wants to improve. And she's a good, really just been very helpful for us defensively as well as offensively. She calls the game. Obviously, she's got the most home runs on the team.
Mm-hmm.
She's done a nice job.
How challenging is it for her as she was an infielder her freshman year, an outfielder last year? She was a catcher early in her career, but when you're away from that for a couple of years, how long did it take for her to become comfortable again behind the plate?
I'd say it was those first months of practice that we had before we headed out for any tournaments. Was really her level to get comfortable. Once the game started to come, obviously there was a little adjustment period of what's going on. It's going, because the game's very quick.
Right.
But once, it seemed like after the first weekend, actually after, I'd say the first day, she kind of got right back into it. And obviously it was something that we worked on in practice with, being very aggressive with the runners and those kind of things. So she was set for it. She really enjoys it.
Like you had mentioned, you are a very young team. As you go through the infield, you're starting 3 sophomores and a freshman. In the outfielder, you've got a couple of sophomores, a freshman out there too.
That's right.
Along with maybe a senior in the mix. So, how do you feel that kind of cohesion has come along defensively for you?
The team's really done a nice job. We talk to them a lot about, you're an athlete. We may ask you to play somewhere that you haven't played before, somewhere that's not your quote primary position when you come to college. But you have to understand that we're going to put you where we think you're going to help the team the best. And the team's really bought into that, which has really allowed us to be able to make moves and move people around. Just over this past weekend, we had Woods in the outfield last year, started in the outfield for us. This year she's been starting at short. Because of an injury, we actually put her back into the outfield over the weekend. She hadn't played out there prior to, but
right.
She did a nice job for us. So being able to make that movement around, and everybody wants to help everybody out. So we've had some stable players where we've had Mekas in center field almost every single game. Becca's been catching every game. Karen McNeil's been at first. Jamie's been at second. We've had some real stability, and then we've just kind of added in around to that. And the outfielders, they don't care where they play; they just go out there and catch everything. Yeah. So.
And on offense, that kind of stability has kind of played into that as well. We've had Sierra Wagner as a leadoff basically the whole year.
Yeah.
Jamie Smith, Becca Smith, Kara McNeil, and then kind of fit in some of the pieces behind them.
Absolutely.
As they get comfortable in those situations, I'm sure that's why you're seeing some improved offensive results.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. We had to play around with the front of the order a little bit this year. We had our 3-4 for the most part set. And then, Sierra stepped up, did a really nice job for us. We were so proud to see her really step into the position and really want the job. Jamie had some experience in the 2 spot last year for us, and really she's just a consistent hitter. And that's why we wanted to put her there, and she can always lay a bunt down when we need her to, and she just aggressive base runner, does everything for us. So, it's been really nice that we've been able to kind of build off of those 4.
Pitching in the circle, Laura Suits was really your only returner with any kind of bulk of experience, and you've mixed her in with the 2 freshmen, Amanda Carlin and Allison Mendy.
Right. I talked to the pitchers early on, and I said we're going to pitch in committee. I hope you guys understand it's not about complete games. It's not about that. And they bought into it. They understand that. We mixed around with the order. Being as Amanda Carlin is a very different type of pitcher. She's a junk ball pitcher. She doesn't throw the ball real hard.
Mm-hmm.
Her best pitches are change-ups. She has 2 of them. She has off speed on almost every pitch she throws, as well as a regular speed on every pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So she really moves it around. So we split the other 2 up who are a little more similar with her in the middle, and it tends to hold the hold the other team off and keep them off balance.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to have worked for us.
And then as you look at last weekend, when you had Clarion here for senior day, you have the 2 seniors, Jennifer DeNaro and Jessica Ras. Just talk about what they have done for your program, and then what Jess has fought through during her career at ESU.
Jen's come in as a transfer, really done a nice job. I hadn't had a whole lot of transfers come in. Really just a real worker, really has set the pace of shows up every day, works hard. You don't ever have to ask her, Jen, I need you to work harder. She just does what she has to do, and really, will do anything you ask her to do in practice, works hard, goes just, 100% all the time. And it sets a tone for those around her, and, when other people are around her, they want to work as hard as she does, which is really nice, and you need those people. Because every now and then everybody has a bad day, and it seems like even if she does have a bad day, nobody knows it because she's just she's very consistent and constant for us, which is great. Obviously, Jessica's been with me for 5 years. She's somebody who's very special. Coming in her freshman year, acquiring leukemia in the fall of her freshman year, having to end up to leave ESU for a year, taking time off, going through the procedures of the chemotherapy, finally coming back. She comes back, finds out she has avascular necrosis in both her hips, which basically means both her hips are dead. Her hip bones were dead. It wasn't until after her chemo was completed, which was 2 years after it started, that she actually was able to get double hip replacement. The company Stryker actually designed the hips, which they're a little different than the old style hips, which has given her most of her mobility back at this point. In a year, she was at 80%, which is more so than what they expect you to be. They expect you to be 2 years to get to 100%. As far as strength is concerned, within a year she was at 80%. So, she's really fought back, and obviously being young, she's been able to heal a little quicker than the average individual who gets their hips replaced. Unfortunately this year, she's had some elbow problems where they're thinking that she may have some avascular necrosis in her elbows as well, which has really limited her play for us this year. She's down to where she can throw a little bit for a day, or she can hit for a day, and that's basically what she's done for us. As a leader, you couldn't ask for a better leader on the team, a better person to inspire the team. She's really done a nice job for us. We just couldn't be any prouder of what she's done and how she stood. And obviously for her senior day, all the seniors from last year, which is her class, came back to celebrate with her. So that was very exciting for her and obviously for them. So
yeah, and she got to start in the first game and got to throw an inning.
That's right.
I'm sure something very special for her to be able to, to do that on her senior day and to share that with those people. So.
Absolutely, yeah. It was very special for her when I went out after the inning ended. She said, "Oh, I'm glad that's over with." I said, "You're going out again to throw at least one more pitch, so I can make the pool for you, during the game." And she said, "Okay." And I went out and I actually had a ball in my hand, and I said, "Just keep the one you got," and gave her that one. So yeah, she was very happy.
A pretty nice way to again to share that senior day with some people, and obviously you guys have 10 more games left, and chance to make the PSAC tournament. So wish your team the best of luck and look forward to the next 10 days.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks.